Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my lovelies. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I am so very happy you found me. I do so hope that you will like and subscribe before you leave. Become part of the Mama family. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned, and definitely when that makeup is cheap. You picked a great day to come say hello. Today is True Love Tuesday. One of my absolute favorite video to film every single week. We're taking a different turn this week. We're going to talk about country music stars. One of the quintessential country music like couple goals, you know what I mean? We're talking about Tim and Faith. And if you guys listen or follow country music at all, you guys know exactly who Tim McGraw and Faith Hill are. They are, I don't know if they're my favorite country music couple, but they're definitely top 5. I love them so much. I love them individually. I love them together. I am so excited for today's video. I couldn't find a ton about them and about their love story just because they are pretty private people. But we have a little bit. We have the basics anyway. So I'm excited to share that with you guys today. We're going to be doing this really fun eye look. So this is a glitter cut crease, half rainbow, half glam glitter. Really, really beautiful. Incredibly easy. This is what she looks like. Super, super simple. It is literally bing, bang, boom. You're done. You're out the door. I'm going to be using the new Beauty Bay Bright palette. This is the Bright 2.0. So this is a pretty new release. I believe this released during Pride Month. I just got this in. If you guys didn't see my last video, my Beauty Bay haul, definitely check out that video. Super, super fun. I enjoyed filming that so much. I always love discovering new makeup with you guys. It's one of my absolute favorite things in the whole wide world. And this haul was so great. So many really wonderful palettes. I am loving this palette. Again, classic Beauty Bay formula. The mattes are velvety and smooth. These shimmers are luscious and shimmery. Really, really gorgeous. So we're going to use this, and then we're also going to use just a little bit of the New Mood palette as well. We're just going to use 1 or 2 shades out of here. I am going to do a dedicated video on this palette, so that's going to be coming next, so be on the lookout for that one. But for this video, we're just going to kind of play. We're going to use some color, and we're just going to enjoy. We're just going to enjoy ourselves. Ignore my nails. I have one that popped off. Everything else is getting real loose. But I did have a nail pop off on me. So we're going to ignore my hands. Guys, it is very, very late, or very, very early Saturday morning. I think it's around 2 o'clock in the morning. So to me, it's still Friday, but technically it's Saturday. So tomorrow on Sunday is Self-Care Sunday. So I will be putting on a new set. Let me know in the comments below what color nails I should do next. I would love some suggestions from you guys. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing my makeup, doing this eye look. Probably won't be stopping to talk about everything that I'm doing and using in the video, but I will, of course, list everything that I use in today's video in the description box below. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into it because I'm getting a little tired. I'm getting a little tired. You know what? Can we take a minute for how cute I look right now? I have no face makeup on, but my skin, I am so proud of my skin. I actually was shaving my mustache. I was shaving my mustache earlier, trying to get ready to film this video, and I used a really, really cheap kind of like face, one of those microblade razors or whatever, and it cut my mole, so I have a little red dot here. So I don't know how makeup's gonna cover that, but we shall see. We shall see how it goes. I don't know where that was going. Anyway, let's start the story, shall we? Oh, my face. I'm super, super happy with my skincare right now. I'm going to do an updated skincare video very, very soon, but I am loving, I am so loving what's going on with my face. It looks so pretty. I'm so happy with it. And my skin doesn't seem dry. Oh, so very happy. Okay, so the only thing I have on my face right now is a little bit of my Wet n Wild Rose eyeshadow primer. I'm going to dive into the palette, dive into the story. It's probably not going to be a super long video. It's a pretty short story. Again, like I said, not a ton of information out there, pretty private people, but definitely go ahead and grab you a big old glass of sweet tea or a cup of coffee. I am drinking iced green tea right now. It is matcha green tea passion fruit. Ooh, so good. It's from the brand Yogi. My absolute favorite. It's like fruity and tropical, but still really light. I love it so much. So, Tim and Faith. This is the love story of Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Now, if you don't know who Tim McGraw is or who Faith Hill is, I just gleeked. If you don't know who Tim McGraw is, he sings, oh gosh, so many songs. He's like one of the biggest male country music artists of all time, and just an incredibly sexy man. He is a beautiful man. Just her, you know, and she is absolutely stunning. Just this beautiful, big, life-size Barbie doll. Oh, I just love her so much. And not only that, but she is sweet as pie. She is from Mississippi and he is from Louisiana. They're just kind of like a match made in heaven, and together they are so very sweet. If you guys don't follow them on, like, they have Instagram accounts, and I actually do follow both of them on Instagram, and they post things to each other all the time. I love it so much. So in the beginning, so they met at a radio music festival. So they met in Nashville, because Nashville is like the epicenter of country music. They met in Nashville for a radio station event, but let's see. Yes, they met in February of 1994 at the annual country radio seminar in Nashville. Both of them were babies. They were both super new to country music in general, basically just starting their careers. And they were basically at this event to kind of jumpstart their careers, get everything kicked off, get a little bit of exposure, things like that. Yeah, just things like that. Just trying to get started, trying to get everything going. I couldn't imagine trying to break into the music business in general. I feel like it would be super difficult. Oh, don't you just love that blue color? Anyway, I feel like it would be really difficult. And the more exposure you can get, the better. And I think this was literally fate, because they're both merging at the same time. So they met at the annual country radio seminar in Nashville. They were both new to country music, and they performed in the New Faces section of the show. So again, they're kind of introducing themselves to the Nashville scene, to the Nashville country music. Just getting out there, just getting their faces, their names, and their voices out there. There was instant chemistry, and this is something that I find to be a recurring theme with a lot of these love stories. They basically just know. They know instantly that they have found their person, and it makes me think of when I met my husband, when I met Stuart, because I knew instantly. When it came to Stuart, I knew, like, the minute I met him, I was like, this could be something. This could be something special. So when people say like love at first sight or things like that, I completely and totally 100% believe in love at first sight. I know it is a real thing. And for them, it was most certainly love at first sight. Now, the only problem here is that they were both otherwise engaged. They were both, well, actually, she was just getting divorced. Faith she had just finalized her divorce from a man named Daniel Hill. And Tim was dating someone, what was her name? Christine Donahue. Christine Donahue. So he was dating her. Faith had just gotten divorced. So, you know, they met, they flirted, but nothing really happened. Sparks flew, but not really. They didn't act act on it. And they really didn't see much of each other again for about a year. And not until 1996, when Tim has already busted onto the scene. Tim has already started making a name for himself, and so has Faith. And at this time, Tim is kicking off a tour, a new tour, and his people ask Faith to be his opening act. Now, I don't know if this was fate, or if they thought that they would just work well together, or if Tim thought, well, you know, I remember her and I would like to be able to spend some time with her. Because she did. She ended up going on a tour with him. And during this tour, they madly, completely, truly, deeply fell in love with each other. At that time, Tim, at the beginning of this tour, and this is something that I respect about both of them, because they're truly, like, they have a conscience, I guess, because neither one of them cheated. At this point, before he even was, Faith is gonna come, he had ended his engagement. Tim had ended his engagement with Christine, and was like, okay, I'm ready to kind of explore the possibilities here. Unfortunately, Faith had gotten engaged by this time. She had been engaged, she had gotten engaged to a new man by the name of Scott Hicks. And he was a really, really nice man. They were great together. She was happy. But when she got the offer to go on tour, she knew what was going to happen. She just like knew in her brain that she was going to try to pursue this. And rather than lead Scott on, and rather than lie and hide and sneak, she told this man straight up, I would like to pursue a relationship with someone else, and I don't think it's fair to you to lead you on. If I'm thinking about other options, then obviously I'm not the one for you. And it was pretty amicable, but I just thought it was so... I'm brain dead at the moment, so the words are not there, but I just thought it was so nice that she was upfront, and there's no like skeeviness here in this entire story. There's no shadiness. Everything was very honest and open and very upfront, and I really, really respect that. So she broke off her engagement to Scott, and both Tim and Faith embark on this tour. And the tour goes really, really well. It makes a ton of money. And both Tim and Faith are really enjoying their relationship. Now, at this point, they're still keeping their relationship a secret. Not really a secret because there's a reason to keep it a secret. But like I said, they're very personal people. They're very, like, they share enough of their lives. They don't want to have to share everything. So they really just kind of held it close to the chest, and kept their love not so much like a dirty little secret, but just for them. And when the relationship was eventually discovered, Faith put out a statement, and she says, if someone is going to judge my character because I left one man for another, I can't control that. But I wasn't about to let Tim McGraw slip through my hands. Y'all, she knew she wanted that man. She knew she wanted that man from the get-go, and she absolutely went for it. She was a go-getter, and I love that. So very much like me and my husband, I knew I wanted him from the moment I met him, and I set about to make that happen. When you want something, you got to go get it, right? I love that about her. So Tim ended up popping the question very shortly after. So they went on tour in 1996. And then later that year, they went on tour. And then once they got back, they were... Yeah. So in 1996, they were at an outdoor music festival. And guys, they had been dating for a good long while at this point. Maybe not a good long while, but long enough. And they were in a trailer, like a dressing trailer together. And Tim was getting ready to go on stage. His set was about to be up. It was just about his time to perform. And he was sitting there, they were sitting there together, just kind of chatting and, you know, things that people do when they're getting ready to go play for a stadium full of people. I wouldn't know. But they were sitting there talking, and he looks at Faith and he says, you know what? We should get married. And she was just kind of like mind blown. Not that she wasn't expecting the proposal, but I don't think she was expecting him to propose quite the way that he did. They were literally just standing in the middle of a trailer getting ready to go do a show, and all of a sudden he gets down on one knee and says, will you marry me? His quote actually was, we should get married. And she said, you're asking me to marry you at a country music festival in a trailer house. And he said, well, it's pretty apropos, don't you think? You didn't have time to hear her answer. She didn't have time to answer. He had to go. It was time. The show must go on. So he had to run out of the trailer. He goes and does his set. And then he comes back. And as soon as he walks into the trailer, he sees this big mirror. And in big lipstick letters, she used a tube of lipstick to write on the mirror, yes. But exactly, yes, I am going to be your wife, in big, bold letters written in lipstick on the mirror. I think that is absolutely just about the cutest thing ever. And actually, I thought a fun fact was that they still have that mirror to this day. Still have the mirror, still have the lipstick writing on it. They kept it as a memento. I thought it was absolutely adorable. So yes, she accepted his proposal, and they got married really, really quickly after that. September... They still have that mirror, yeah. In September 1996, they made their first public appearance as, you know, as a couple. And they did this at the oh my goodness, my handwriting is absolutely terrible. At the Andre Grand Slam for Children in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was about a month before the wedding, so they're just a couple at this point. They still haven't, I guess they're not married yet, but just as a couple. They made their first public appearance. They let the public know that they were together, and the public absolutely went wild. I know that I would have gone wild if, you know, I would have been old enough at that point to really know what was going on. Yeah, 1996. I was a baby at this point. They went wild. And I remember my mom and my dad, because my mom and dad are gigantic country music fans. And I remember them talking about it when they kind of came out and like told people that they were a couple. I remember my mom especially being super, super excited. I think my dad a little bit as well. But more so my mom than anything. I remember her being so excited because my mom absolutely adores Tim McGraw. I don't know anybody who has a mom. I don't know anybody's mom that doesn't absolutely, I don't know any woman, period, that doesn't absolutely love Tim McGraw anyway. So she was over the moon. And then my dad was super, super happy because he loves Faith Hill. She's one of his absolute favorites. So they were super excited. So I do remember hearing about it when I was growing up. But they came out, had their first public appearance about a month before they got married. And now that the public knows, they're expecting, well, what's going on? Is there going to be a wedding? What's happening? What's in the near future? So now the pressure's on, and like I said, they're very private people. They wanted to keep it for themselves. So in order to circumvent the big media frenzy that their wedding would 100% would have caused, they planned a surprise wedding, and I thought this was really, really fun as well. So in order to get their family and loved ones to the venue, they actually told everybody that they were doing, they were throwing a charity softball game to raise money for children. And they invited all of their closest friends and family out to Tim's hometown. And his hometown was, Rayville, Louisiana. And they told everybody, all right, we'll come to this charity softball game, you know, it'll be a good time. We're going to perform. Everything's going to be great, right? Well, everybody gets there and surprise, we're getting married. So they got married in a really intimate ceremony with only their closest friends and family present. It was absolutely beautiful. So very happy for them. They were very successful in pulling that particular stunt off. So they got married really shortly after, on May 5th, 1997. So they got married in 96. In 97, they had their first baby, a daughter named Gracie Catherine, which I absolutely love. I love all of the names that they picked for their children. They just sound so beautifully old school, and so like old school country. I love it so much. But they named their first daughter Gracie Catherine. She was born on May 5th. And the same month that their daughter was born, they released their first kind of like duet, like their duet song. Yeah, they released their first duet. And you guys, if you guys listen to country music, you will know exactly the song I'm talking about. It was titled It's Your Love. Oh, I can still remember the music video for this song. It's your love, just does something to me. I freaking love that song so much. And in the music video, she is Faith. She has like really short hair at this time. She just after it was the same era as This Kiss, you know, that music video where she's like all the flowers and stuff. Anyway, super pregnant, absolutely stunning. You know, when pregnant women, they just glow, and you could just tell she was just over the moon, just really happy, and it showed in the video. And of course Tim was over the moon as well. They were just both glowing as a couple. And as a result, the song was absolutely fantastic anyway. I mean, that song is still played. People still play that song at their weddings, and I mean, it has definitely stood the test of time. So, as a result of this undeniable, just like, there's just something about the song, something about the video. This song, like, it won so many awards. One of their best received collabs like ever. So this song ended up, it premiered, didn't premiere, but it hit the number one spot on the Billboard charts, and it stayed there for 6 consecutive weeks. Guys, that is absolutely forever. And not only that, but it actually won so many awards. It won single, song, video, and top vocal event of the year for the year 1997 at the CMAs. Can you imagine? So one song wins Song of the Year, Vocals of the Year, Music Video of the Year. What else was there? Music video, song, album of the year. Anyway, it won every award there was to win at the CMAs. They absolutely killed it, right? Then very shortly after that, they had their second daughter. Maggie Elizabeth. Love that name. On August 12th, 1998. And then in 2000, they joined forces for the Soul to Soul tour. Now, this one I do remember. I was old enough to remember the Soul to Soul tour. I remember it being televised just about everywhere. And I remember everybody and their mama wanted a ticket to go. This was, and to date is still one of the best grossing tours of all time. Country music wide, in country music, one of the highest grossing tours in country music history. And they, for the Soul to Soul tour, they started it in July. They went cross country, so it was a cross country tour, and then it ended in December 2000. Guys, this tour brought in nearly $50 million. I cannot even fathom what it would feel like to know that people wanted, that so many people just wanted to, like, I couldn't imagine. nearly $50 million, sold out 60 of 63 shows, like sold out every single seat. Like we're talking from the floor seats all the way up to the nosebleed, completely sold out. 60 out of 63 shows. And then they actually they sang throughout the tour to over 950,000 people. 950,000 people. I couldn't imagine. Not long after that, they had their third baby. So they had another baby girl named Audrey Caroline. I love that name as well. She was born December 6th, 2001. Yeah, December 6th, 2001. So after this, they're enjoying their time. They're enjoying their time as a family. But then, you know, ever the go-getters, they decide, you know what, it's time to go out on tour again. It's time to go make some more money. It's time to go spread some more joy. And it's time to sing again. So they do. They go out on another tour. And this time, they call it the Soul to Soul 2. And basically, it's Tim and Faith, they're cashing in, which I think is super, super smart. They're cashing in on the fans' love, not only for them as individual singers, but also for them, for their love for them as a couple. You know what I mean? So they really cashed in on that, and they did Soul to Soul 2. Now, Soul to Soul 2 did really, really well, and was literally the top grossing tour. So their first one broke all kinds of records, but their second one beat even their first tour, and it actually became the highest grossing collaborative tour in country music history. Like breaking all kinds of records, just like absolutely insane, like dynamic power duo. We're talking about country royalty, guys. So highest grossing tour in country music history. Really, could you imagine having that kind of notch on your bedpost? I couldn't. So by the time the concert's over, tour's over. So then in June 2010, they performed for Nashville Rising. So what Nashville Rising was a benefit, it was a charity concert, and this was actually conceived and put together by Tim and Faith, and it was their idea, and it was in response to all of the floods that had displaced so many people in Tennessee. There was a big, gigantic flood. Now, I don't know too awful much about this, but I do know that it really, really affected a lot of people, and a lot of people were left homeless and pretty much without anything. It just kind of destroyed people's lives. And Tim and Faith, ever the philanthropists, decided that they needed to help. So they organized this entire concert. They had people come out, like a lot of their friends come out and offer to perform for free. And all of the net proceeds went to help, what was the name of the charity? Nashville, a benefit concert organized by them to raise money for the flood victims in Tennessee. Fellow performers were ZZ Top. Oh, love ZZ Top. ZZ Top is like, one of my absolute favorites. So ZZ Top, Carrie Underwood. Everybody knows who Carrie Underwood is. She is absolutely, I love her too. And then Taylor Swift. Can you imagine? And they all agreed to do this concert and give all the proceeds to charity. And because they had such high profile friends, of course, a lot of people really came out and paid for tickets. And they actually ended up raising over $2 million to help the families in need and to help the people that were affected by the flood, which I thought was really, really nice. And I think one of the biggest things that I love so much about country music singers and couples in general is they really take the time and they really allow themselves to be regular people. They allow themselves to care. It's just, they're so approachable. And I think Tim and Faith are kind of the originators of that. They really were so good at being so approachable. They were really, really relatable as well. I think they were just a spectacular, and not only a spectacular, powerful couple, but also kind. kindness, I tell my son all the time, it don't cost you anything to be kind. Kindness will get you further in this life than anything. And they're kind people, and that makes me love them absolutely even more. So we're going to pause on the story for just a second. This is what the transition area looks like. Everything's beautifully blended. We have a Roy G. Biv situation going on. It's pretty much a rainbow, and I love it so very much. Guys, I could do this eye look in literally 5 minutes. These eyeshadows blend effortlessly. We're gonna do a little bit of a glitter cut crease now. For that, I'm gonna use my hard candy palette. I will list this in the description box below, but you guys, if you didn't watch my glitter video I posted very recently, you will, if you did watch it, you will know that the hard candy glitter is some of my absolute favorite. I found this palette last time I went to Walmart. This is the Hard Candy Glitterazzi Moondust Shimmering Shadow Palette, and it's basically just a pressed glitter palette, but I saw this and I absolutely had to have it. I'm going to use this dark kind of black silvery one, and we're just going to do basically a glitter cut crease. I'm going to use a little bit of my hard candy glitter stay and then just press the glitter on top of the glitter glue. So after this last benefit that they did, they kind of stopped touring for a little while, and they have 3 daughters at home, right? And they're all still relatively young, but you guys know that babies grow up so fast. They grow up so fast, and it's heartbreaking to miss it. You know what I mean? And I can only imagine what it feels like as just a normal person. You feel like you miss so much anyway, but if you put touring and being a country music superstar on top of that, I can only imagine how the FOMO was real, I'm sure. So rather, you know, they have a lifestyle. They have, you know, bills to pay. The money still needs to be made. How are they going to make the money without touring, right? So they ended up stopping touring and started a 20-show residency at the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, I've never been to Las Vegas. If you have ever been, please let me know what your experience was. I've always been so very curious to go. I know it would be super expensive, but I'm not much of a gambler, so I don't know if there would actually be anything for me to do there. But I always have been so super curious just to kind of see what it was about. But they started a 20-show residency at the Venetian Hotel, and this did really well. They played to sold-out crowds. In December 2012. So they started their residency at the Venetian in 2012. They committed to doing 20 shows for the hotel, and they said they really enjoyed doing that. It gave them a lot of time to really reconnect with their daughters and really spend time that previously they hadn't had. And they said they really bonded and grew closer as a family during this time. But, you know, they're performers at heart, and they enjoy touring. So their babies get a little bit older, and in 2016, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 4 years later, they were recognized as the legitimate country music royalty that they are, and they were both awarded stars on the Country Music Walk of Fame. Well, what is this called? In 2016, they were recognized as real country music royalty in honor of not only their contributions to country music as a whole, but for their contributions to the city of Nashville. Let's not forget that they held charities. They were very big on helping raise money for pretty much anybody in need, and not only the Country Music Hall of Fame, but the city of Nashville, Tennessee, recognized them and their contributions to both the city and to the genre of music in general, and awarded both of them stars on the Music Row Walk of Fame on Nashville's Music Mile. And this is a really, really big deal. Anytime someone is inducted to the Hall of Fame, I think it's a really, really big deal. They don't let just anybody into the Hall of Fame. And I really feel like Faith and Tim really earned it. Not only by being amazing performers, but by being amazing people in general. And I feel like if anybody deserved a star, it was definitely them. So they were finally awarded their star, and then I want to say almost maybe the same month or very, very shortly thereafter. The same month they celebrated their 20th wedding anniversary. So can you imagine, at this time they have been together for 20 years. Guys, my husband and I are coming up on 13 years. 13 years, and it feels like absolutely forever. I can't wait till we hit our 20th. I feel like the 20th anniversary is a really, really big one. But they hit their 20th year wedding anniversary, which is absolutely amazing. And they exclusively to E asked them what their plans were for the big 20, right? And you would assume, because they're, again, country music royalty, and it's because it's their 20th wedding anniversary, you would think that they had something like planned, right? You would think that they were gonna go out and really live it up, go out on the town, really celebrate 20 years of magic together. Nay, not what they had in mind. They told E exclusively that they planned to spend their 20th anniversary in front of the TV, wearing baggy sweatpants, eating microwave dinners, probably not actual microwave dinners, but eating junk food and binge watching TV. Now, y'all, I don't know about you, but I think that sounds like an awful good time. Oh, I love it. I love lazy days like that. And could you imagine, as like two of the biggest country music stars of their time, can you imagine the amount of free time they get? Probably not very much at all. So sitting in front of the TV in baggy sweats, eating a bag of chips, was probably absolute heaven to them. So that is what they did. They spent their 20th wedding anniversary in front of the television, binge watching their favorite TV shows and munching on snacks. And I love it. Speaking of love, can we take a second for how incredibly gorgeous and shimmery and just absolutely stunning this glitter is. Goes on beautifully opaque. I have almost no fallout. You're gonna have a little bit of fallout when you're using glitter, just kind of inevitable, but it clings to the brush so well. I have almost none down here on my cheeks. I am so in love with this glitter, and this glitter formula in particular I think is so fantastic. If you guys love glitter, I highly recommend you check out this formula. So good, and really affordable as well. Hard Candy is not a super expensive formula at all, or a super expensive brand at all. I'm going to take a teeny tiny little pencil brush and the smallest amount of black eyeshadow, and I'm just going to take this along the edge of this glitter, and I'm going to create a little bit of a shadow effect just to help this feel a little bit more finished, and to create a little bit more of a kind of definitive line there. Create a little bit of contrast to really help it feel like a cut crease and really help give it a nice solid edge. Because we didn't use any concealer, I want to have a nice clean edge to the glitter and adding just that little bit of a shadow really does help make it look so much more finished. Just like that, the smallest bit, but you can see how it really cleaned up that line so much. Really makes a big, big difference. So, spent their 20th anniversary in sweats. Then, in April of 2017, they went on another tour. They said, you know what? We're not done with the Soul to Soul thing yet. I think that we've got one more in us. Faith, what do you think, babe? Want to go on tour again? Sure, Tim, let's go. Let's do it. So they do Soul to Soul. But this time, they name it Soul to Soul, the World Tour. And they ended up playing across the entire world tour, right? I guess it's self-explanatory. But they ended up playing 80 shows, and every single one of those 80 shows was sold out. At every single one, the venue was completely full. There was absolutely no room for anyone else. Can you imagine how expensive tickets to those concerts would have been? Like a scalper's dream, for sure. So played 80 shows to sold out crowds and sold out venues. It was so successful, they actually ended up extending the tour, and they ended up extending it through the summer of 2018. But in November of 2017, they finally released their first duet album, and this was titled The Rest of Our Life. This was a really, really well received album. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts. Guys, people loved it before they even heard it. And it sold over 104,000 copies in its first week of being released. That is absolutely unheard of. Really, really crazy numbers. I mean, if anybody can do it, it's Tim and Faith. And they certainly did. Yeah, I hate brain farts. Anyway, so 104,000 copies of the first week of being released. Guys, at this point in their lives, things are going really, really well. They've just embarked and ended a really, really, really successful tour. Their personal lives are going really, really well. And to top everything off, they're being honored. The Country Music Hall of Fame and the Museum of Nashville actually opened an exhibit exploring both their personal and professional lives together as artists, and it was really dedicated to them as a couple, as a unit. And it really kind of highlighted everything they had done to help both country music and the people that love it. It highlighted all of the charities they had worked with and all of the people that they had helped along the way. It also was full of personal and professional memorabilia from the couple. It was really an in-depth, kind of intimate look into them as artists and as people and as lovers, and it did really, really well as well. The exhibit was titled Tim and Faith, Mississippi Woman, Louisiana Man, and it shared pieces of personal and professional memorabilia. On their 23rd anniversary, this was spent apart, right? So Tim and Faith are two very, very dedicated people. They're dedicated to each other. They're dedicated to their careers. And throughout their married life, they had made it a point to never spend an anniversary together. Well, unfortunately, on their 23rd anniversary, it was unavoidable, and they had to spend their anniversary apart. And because Tim knew that it bothered Faith so much to be apart from him during such a special anniversary, he actually re-recorded the very first song that they duetted together. Now, the first time they really duetted anything together was on that first tour, on Tim's first tour, where Faith was his opening act. And they actually sang a song written by another artist. It was called, what was it called? Nobody Knows It But Me. And if you guys, I'm sure if you guys know anything about country music, you'll probably know that song. But it's a beautiful, beautiful song as well. Nobody knows it but me. Love that song so very much. But he actually re-recorded it and sent it to her, had it delivered to her on their anniversary. And it was so incredibly beautiful. I thought that was such a sweet, sweet thing to do. And she said in a quote in an interview later on that it really did mean the absolute world to her. And that she still has the recording and pulls it out every so often to listen to it. I mean, could you imagine having a man just kind of croon to you? Like, I think we all kind of fantasize about having a man kind of serenade us. And she has not only a man that serenades her, but she's got Tim McGraw serenading her. I couldn't imagine. So, 23rd anniversary, he sends her this re-recording. She loves it. And November of 2019. Guys, as perfect and fairy tale-like as their relationship seems to be, it was not without its challenges, and it was not without its fair share of problems. And now, like I said, they were very private people, and a lot of their problems were not shared with media, so we don't know very much about them. But in 2019, Tim actually wrote a book. He released a book about him and his health and choices and things like that throughout his career. And in this book, he actually, he admitted that during the early years of his marriage to Faith, he was actually a raging alcoholic. He had substance abuse problems, and it really made life really, really difficult for Faith. And Faith is a good woman and stuck by his side. But there was a time when he was waking up in the morning and he has children, he has daughters at this point. He's married to Faith, and he said he was waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning and heading straight to the liquor cabinet for a shot of whiskey. And he remembered taking that shot of whiskey and saying, I gotta wake the girls up to put them on the bus or to get them to school. And he said that at that point right then is when he knew that something needed to change. He needed to fix himself. And very shortly before this, Faith had actually given him an ultimatum. And guys, we all know what that ultimatum is. Like, we've all been at that point in one relationship or another, where you have to be like, it's either this or me, because I can't handle this anymore. And Faith had the same conversation with Tim. And as he's taking that shot of whiskey at 7 o'clock in the morning, he realized that this is not the life that I want. This is not the life that my wife and my daughters deserve. I can do better than this. And he said he put the whiskey down and he went to his bedroom. Faith was sitting on the bed. He went to the bedroom and he told Faith, he says, I'm ready to change. I can't live this way anymore. And he said that she just started crying and held him. And that was the moment, that was when he found the strength and the fortitude to really walk away from his partying and all of the vices that he was using. And he actually went fully sober and has been on the wagon ever since, fully recovered from everything. And he said that he couldn't have done it without Faith's unwavering support and just love, right? Love is such a powerful thing. It can do just about anything. And as a recovering addict myself, I know that without my husband, I know that it would have been so incredibly difficult for me to be able to walk away from the situation that I was in when I was an addict. And really just sometimes having that one person that believes in you no matter what, never refuses to give up on you and sees your worth even when you can't, it really does make all of the difference. So he wrote a book. He talked about his partying and faith ultimatum, and spoke about that, you know, that indeed that day was his wake-up call. And that's pretty much the end of Faith and Tim's story. Now, their story is still being written. They are still very much alive. They still very much post. They do the absolute cutest, like I said, social media posts. And, you know, it's always like on birthdays and anniversaries, they're always sending each other little love notes and things like that. I really do think that they are like couple goals. To be able to have a almost 30-year romance without any kind of major problems is really something to be, I mean, really, really admired, because that doesn't happen very often anymore. So my son just said, ow, I don't know what that was. But I do have a couple of fun facts about Tim and Faith. I like to include some fun facts when I can, just to help us get a better feel for them as people and as a couple. And one of the fun facts I found out is that Tim is very much an overprotective father, which I love. He is very much he has 3 daughters, right? And he was a boy once. He knows what's going on. So he said in an interview that when his daughters first started dating, he would open the door and he would have a very carefully placed sledgehammer in the doorway to really scare the boys into being as you know, very good little boys. And I thought that was so much fun. I thought that was so funny and very cute and very real. He also said that him and Faith don't spend a ton of money on each other for birthdays and for Christmas and things like that. And I think this makes sense, because when you have as much money as I'm sure that they do, I really think that it would be difficult to buy, like, when you have everything, what do you get the person that has everything already? So he said that they actually limit each other to $100 each, and they have to find the best present, the most meaningful gift that they can for, for no more than $100, which I thought was so much fun. It makes it a game, right? Instead of trying to figure out, well, what can I get him that he doesn't already have? It's what can I get him that is going to mean the most to him, and things like that. It puts a fun little twist on birthdays and holidays. I thought that was super, super cute. Oh, they still slow dance on the patio. And this goes back to the Instagram posts and stuff, because their daughters post on Instagram as well. And they post snippets of their parents fairly often. And there was a post that one of their daughters had made, and they were listening to, I think one of Tim's releases from around 2002, 2004, when he dropped that album, and they were having a listening party, and Tim, Faith, and their 3 daughters were on the back patio listening to Tim's album, just enjoying their father's music. And Tim and Faith got up and started slow dancing on the patio, and I thought that was absolutely just so precious. I know when I was growing up, I was we listened to country music quite often, and I always wanted someone, like, I love George Strait, and I always wanted someone who was gonna slow dance with me in the kitchen, just kind of listening to. It's just so romantic, right? But they still do that. Even at nearly, I think they're over 50 years old now, but I think they still they still slow dance in the kitchen. And I thought it was so incredibly sweet. I think that is just about it. They keep it fresh by flirting continuously. Oh, there is one last thing that I want to read to you guys, and this is a quote from Tim. And I thought this was so poignant and so true that I wrote it down, because I like to end these videos with a quote. And when Tim was asked, he said, "What is love?" And he responded by saying, "What is love? Is it an emotion? Is it a lifestyle? Is it some beautiful imaginary thing? Love is all of those things. Love is being angry. Love is not talking for a full day. Love is getting in each other's faces, and love is accepting when you're wrong. Love is a 360-degree thing. It's not linear." And I thought that was so incredibly true and so incredibly insightful. I just think that they're so sweet, and they're so real, and they're so approachable, and I love them so much. Guys, that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I enjoyed telling it. I am super excited to kind of dive into more country music love stories. I think there is a lot of potential there, especially since I love country music so very much. I can really relate and really get into some of the stories that I'm telling. So I'm super stoked about that. I hope you guys enjoy today's eye look. I think it is so pretty. Super easy, but very fun and bright and sparkly and glamorous, and I just love it so much. Final review, final thoughts on the Beauty Bay Brights 2.0 palette. Chef's kiss. Really fantastic. They blend beautifully. They go on effortlessly. Just stunning. It's a really stunning palette. Classic Beauty Bay formula. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this palette in any way, shape, or form. I love the eye look that I was able to create using it. I will, of course, post everything that I used to do this eye look in the description box below, along with the links to all my other social medias. I'll post my Facebook, my Instagram, and my TikTok. If you guys are not following me on all those other platforms, please make sure that you go do that. I would so appreciate it. I post fun content all the time. I try to post at least one thing every single day. I try not to let you get too bored too awful quickly. Guys, as always, no filters, no edits, no fancy lighting. It's just me sitting in front of my camera telling you guys a love story, playing with some makeup, hoping you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. My beautiful lovelies, until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important. Bye.